listen, I'm not good at coming here and faking it, pretending like no, we got whooped. We got whooped, and we didn't understand that we ran a campaign that would have been great in 1996. We had TV ads and door knocking, and these guys built an online infrastructure with the Joe Rogans and everything else. If we thought Rush Limbaugh gave us trouble in the 90s, or Fox News gave us trouble in the early 2000s, they built 2,000 Fox Newses and 2,000 Rush Limbaughs all throughout the internet, and we didn't even know they were doing it, and we got egg on our face, and we got a big, big job to look at ourselves in the mirror and figure out how we got beat this bad.
Scott, what if you were, put another hat on for a second, if you were going to talk to Democrats from your perspective and go easy, but what would you pick out and advise them? Where did it go wrong?
Well, I think the Democratic Party, in the eyes of a lot of working class voters, in the eyes of a lot of men who overwhelmingly turned out for Trump in this election, kind of view the Democratic Party as a professional fainting society. You know, I mean, we're offended by everything. We don't, have our eye on the real ball here, which is people being crushed in the economy, or we don't have our eye on the border. We don't have our eye on the world chaos. What we have our eye on is running around scolding everyone and being offended by everyone. I mean, that's no way to run a political party and then be surprised when average, everyday working people turn out against you. So if I were the Democrats, I mean, it's a time for soul searching. I feel for Brother Van a little because, the Republicans have been there too. But the reality is you just have to ask yourself a couple of questions. Who are we, and who do we stand for? What do we represent? What are our actual values? And I think if they asked themselves those questions and answered them honestly, they'd find out that the only people they really stand for are very wealthy people who were not as crushed by inflation, people who have college degrees, who live in and around college campuses and in urban areas. That's it. That's pretty much what the Democratic Party has been reduced to.
What do you say, man?
It's not true. Hey, listen, I think the Republicans have done a brilliant job of framing us that way, and I think we've helped them a lot, because a lot of the stuff that we say does fall into the pity party, crybaby society stuff. I think that's right. But the tragedy to me is that what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris actually did, and what they're promising to do, really was responding to working class needs. A lot of stuff in the Inflation Reduction Act was really trying to help ordinary people. They ran on a campaign to try to get $6,000 to everybody who's having a new baby, $25,000 to people who want to have a house, to help small businesses. There was an agenda there, but we did not do a good job of talking about it. The crybabies took up all the airspace, and then they built a machine. Don't forget, the Republicans built a machine online to magnify our mistakes and to mask their failures. And what we did was run a bunch of crappy ads that everybody hated and spend $1 billion doing it. So there is a core there that is good, but we dropped the ball in the parking lot. We thought we were on the football field. We weren't even on the football field. We were in the parking lot, and we got to look in the mirror.
One of the most powerful members of the Democratic Party is now blaming President Biden for Vice President Kamala Harris's election loss. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi telling the New York Times Democrats may have had a better shot if the president had stepped aside sooner. And we're back now with our panel, Van, Jones, and Scott Jennings. Thanks for sticking around, both of you. Van, especially you. I do want to know, I'm not sure how good it does anybody looking backward at this point. However, I am curious what you make of the former House Speaker's comments.
Well, I listened to the whole interview, and she was doing everything she could to try to get out of answering the question. She asked the question multiple times in multiple ways. Eventually, you have to give an opinion. And I don't think her opinion is wrong in hindsight. Don't forget now, Joe Biden was doing better than he is now. And after the midterm elections, when he had to make a decision to get in or get out, he was just coming off of an incredibly successful legislative session that we had done really well in the midterms. And I think he started to feel like, hey, everybody keeps